Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest today is Bernard-Henri Lévy, a well-known philosopher and the author of a recent film, kind of making of the revolution in Libya. The title is The Oath of Tobruk, Tobruk being a town in Libya, and gives an insider's view of what happened there with the main characters, Bernard-Henri Lévy himself, as well as the then President of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, British Prime Minister David Cameron, and several other world leaders. You were on the ground in Libya many times, and you played a role in pushing Western powers to intervene militarily. Why did you feel, you already wrote a book about this, why did you feel you also needed to make a movie?
Because I wanted to tell the story. I wanted to tell the inside story. There is a moment in such a process, such a revolution, where time comes to turn the cards, to turn the cards, to put them on the right. If I was a statesman classifies the files for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. There is a hiding of the files. I'm a free spirit. I'm an intellectual, so no classify. The cards, I turn them immediately. I want to show what a group of men, statesmen, Hillary Clinton, by the way, you did not quote her, public intellectuals, can do when they want. I wanted to tell that dictatorships are not eternals. I wanted to show that we are not impotent in front of these sort of dictators. I wanted to show that, yes, we can. As President Obama, next President Obama, said a few years ago.
Obviously, there are some really interesting scenes of decisions being taken. You're trying and eventually convincing President Sarkozy about the need to receive a delegation of those rebel leaders, have them recognized. Why was such a chemistry at work? Because generally it doesn't work like this. World affairs is about realpolitik. Why was there such a moment where you played a role, others of course played a role, and it worked this time? Because generally this doesn't work.
There was a password. There was a password between all those who were really involved. The password was Bosnia, Sarajevo. And I must tell you, when I came back after the story, when all was over, to David Cameron, to Hillary Clinton, to Nicolas Sarkozy, and when I asked them, why did you go? The three of them said the same thing, which I felt myself in the depths of my heart. We did not want another Bosnia. We did not want another Rwanda. We were young First Lady, young advisor of a politician like Cameron, young minister, myself, young public intellectual. We experienced as a shame, as a huge shame, Srebrenica and Sarajevo bombing for 3 years. And we made this other oath of no longer Srebrenica. This is the password between all of them.
And it worked. Maybe did you really feel when you were doing this that in the end Gaddafi would be overthrown? Did you really trust this, or was it kind of a desperate move that you felt, okay, I did not want this, never again. This was my motto, but when did you feel that it was a turning point? What was for you?
Desperate fights I waged, and so many times in my life. In Bosnia, I was desperate. When I was with Commander Massoud, Ahmed Shah Massoud, the leader of the anti-Taliban coalition, anti-Taliban in the 90s, there is a sequence in my movie where I am with him. He's completely desperate, completely encircled by the Taliban. I try to bring him to the Western world and to France, and former President Chirac closed the door. I have all these memories in my head. And when I'm in Benghazi, then when I'm in Misrata, I remember the Massoud, I remember Izetbegovic, and how can I say, it's really again an oath with myself. I decide to achieve it this time. I decide to do all my best to gather all possible forces in order to go to the end. And the chance, the miracle, is that there was a great president. He was not great on all topics. He did many mistakes in domestic affairs. But I'm speaking of Sarkozy. In this matter, he was great.
He was the key?
He was the key. He was the pilot in the plane, yes. There was a lot of forces scattered here and there, a lot of energies, and he was the catalyst, for sure. And he never doubted. And I show it in the movie at many times. The media, the allies of France and of America said we should stop, we should compromise with Gaddafi, we are in a sort of quagmire, it is a new Vietnam. And I saw Sarkozy. I spoke with him nearly every day. He never doubted. Clinton either, and Cameron same, the three of them. There was the oath.
There's no Barack Obama in your picture.
There is a fugitive plan of Barack Obama, but I think that in America, it was really a matter of women, by the way. Susan Rice, Samantha Power, and Hillary Clinton, playing for President Obama, of course. And he was the final referee this famous night when I brought to Hillary Clinton in Paris, in Westin Hotel, Mahmoud Jibril. And when Mahmoud Jibril went to her heart and convinced her by the heart to heart, of course Barack Obama spoke with State Secretary Clinton and said yes. But the leading forces in America might have been, and this is why they are in my movie, I went back to her and got their testimony, these three women, yes. The women of the oath of No Srebrenica, Rice, Power, and Clinton.
Let's turn to Libya now. A lot of concern about militias running the country, about Islamists taking hold. Did you envision that?
Of course, I envisioned that. Revolution is not a path of roses, and democracy does not arrive all of a sudden because by decree. And especially when you are getting out of 42 years of dictatorship, all the reflexes, all the blood of democracy is frozen, of course. So we have Islamists in Libya. But number one, less than it is generally said. Number two, we will see in the next elections sooner or later, less than the commentators expect. And number three, they are Islamists who will have the peculiarity to have understood one thing. I spoke with these Islamists. I spoke even with the Al-Qaeda close Islamists. There is one idea they had, and they don't have it any longer. The idea was that the West is allied with the dictators. Their main idea is that we, Jews and Crusaders, as they said, are the natural enemies of the people of the Arab countries. And suddenly, they discovered quite a new picture. They discovered a French president, an American state secretary, some private persons like me, who, without any obvious interest, and probably no interest at all, without a will of occupation, in a process which is exactly the opposite of Iraq, gave them the hand and did help them to liberate themselves. And this is really an earthquake in this world.
I want to ask you quickly about Syria. The situation is getting more and more tragic. Every day, what's the way out?
It will be more and more tragic. Assad wants civil war. He began by a war against the civilians, and now he tries to implement a civil war. So it will be more and more. The only thing to do is to stop him.
How?
As we did. How? The formula, we have it with Libya. We know how to do. We did it. It was much more difficult to stop Gaddafi than Assad. Number one, because Gaddafi was mad. Assad is not completely mad. Number two, because nobody wanted to throw out Gaddafi. Today, there is the Turks, at least. Arab League, who wants no longer Assad. So there is real forces in the area who have a real vested interest in kicking out Assad.
So there should be a military intervention even without a UN mandate?
I cannot imagine the Russians to the end continuing to veto. They will lose all their face and their image in this part of the world. But if they veto again and again, of course, Susan Rice, representative of the ambassador in the UN Security Council of the America, last Wednesday said, this was not very much quoted, but she said, after a meeting with the Lieutenant in Second of Kofi Annan, the French Jean-Marie Guéhenno, she said, with UN, we would be good. If UN vetoes, some members of the Security Council will have to take an initiative in connection with the big powers of the area, and so on and so on. Susan Rice did evoke a solution without UN, which Sarkozy did, by the way, at the beginning of the process in Libya. He said in front of me, to the first Libyans he received in Palais de l'Élysée, if I have not UN, I will do it with Cameron and the Arab League.
Okay, we'll have to see how the situation unfolds in Syria, but if you want to look at how it unfolded in Libya, the movie is something you should watch. Thank you very much, Bernard-Henri Lévy, for coming on the France 24 interview, and thank you all for watching it.